If you feel you're doing all the right things, yet your pain is not going away, there might be some things that you are completely overlooking, things in your blind spot. In today's video, I'm going to highlight 5 of those bad health habits that are keeping you in pain. Hello everyone, my name is Joy Ogude. I'm a chartered physiotherapist and the proud founder of the London Physio. Now, we are a virtual physiotherapy service that you can tap into from anywhere in the country. So today's video is all about those 5 really bad health habits that are keeping you stuck. But in addition to telling you the 5 habits, I'm also going to be giving you pro tips to help you with those habits. Of course, it's always good to highlight a problem, but we also need a solution. Hang tight. Number 5 is pretty awesome. About 90% of patients that come to me, before they come to me, this is one bad habit that they always do. So make sure you watch until the very end. Let's get into it. Habit number 1, you are sitting for too long. Yes, your posture gets bad because we're on our laptops and computers and our phones, but there's so much else that happens aside from the fact that most people just focus on the poor posture, the forward poking shin, which by the way are big problems in themselves because it's the silent killer, isn't it? It just happens over time. Other things happen as well. You're getting tight in your hip flexors and you're getting weaker in your glutes. Your quads are getting longer and weaker. Your hamstrings are getting tighter. These muscles are what we need for actual function, standing, walking, going up and down the stairs. The one thing I haven't mentioned is the core stability. Your core stability muscles, you are killing them. And on top of that as well, you're compressing those discs. Baby girl, get up and do some walking. It's a really bad habit that seems normal nowadays in our culture and just generally in the way that we live our lives. But I promise you, your body is not loving it. So here's a pro tip for you. Why don't you get up every 30 to 60 minutes? For some people, that might actually be 1 to 2 hours, which is totally fine. It might be something as simple as going to the toilet if you're at work. If you have a standing desk, use your standing desk and change your position. Just do something that involves getting up. Bad habit number 2 is not prioritizing exercise. The one thing I always tell my patients is you don't need a gym to exercise. Exercise is actually the freest thing in the world, and it's such a privilege to be able to stand up and walk up the stairs. That's exercise. To be able to walk around your house, exercise. To get up and dance, to just sit there and do some punches upwards and forwards and take your I just hit my plant. Take your arms to the side and back. These are all forms of exercise. Don't worry about, having to wake up and go to the gym, having to lift weights and things like that. All of those things have their place. All of those things are really good for you. I would definitely recommend it, especially if it's something you love. But the reality is that for everyday people, exercise can be super simple, super cheap, super easy. For this point, this is my pro tip. If you love dancing, swimming, walking, whatever it is, find something you love that wouldn't cost you a lot of money, especially if money is a worry. Find something you love. That is it when it comes to exercise. Your body doesn't know the difference. Your body just wants movement. You feel so good when you move. There's a reason for that because your body needs it. And the less of it you do, the more likely you are to be in pain. And just think little and often. If you're someone who doesn't exercise right now, just start at 5 minutes 3 times a day and then just work your way up to something like half an hour a day, Bad habit number 3 is treating the symptom and not the root cause of the pain. A lot of people just like the quick fix. Raise your hand and keep your hand up if you're that person. You cannot out massage or out painkiller a problem. You just can't. You're going from paracetamol to anti-inflammatories to tramadol to God knows what, and you're forgetting that the pain medication doesn't treat the root cause. Now, I've made a video about pain meds where I talk about the best medication for lower back pain relief, and I literally break down all the different types of meds from analgesia, which is like paracetamol, to anti-inflammatories, which is like ibuprofen, naproxen, and to opioids, and I talk about other things as well. one message I was really trying to get across in this video, which is also the message in this point, is that you absolutely cannot treat medication as if it's going to solve the problem. It was never designed for that. That's why you keep taking it. It only stops you from feeling the pain. Now, in that period of time when you are not feeling the pain, it actually gives you a good window of opportunity to deal with the root cause of the pain. Now, how would you do that? If you don't know, go and see a medical professional like a chartered physiotherapist. Aside from the fact that we can literally diagnose the problem, we can also link the why of the why. I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a massage. I'm also not saying that you shouldn't take meds, but they don't fix the issue. If you want the issue fixed, do those things, fine, but do it under the help of a professional who can actually solve the problem for good, if it's solvable. There's no reason whatsoever why you should still be treating symptoms and not the root cause of the problem. The fourth bad habit that I see a lot of patients do is poor sleep and recovery. You guys are not sleeping for long enough, and even when you are sleeping for long enough, it's not good quality sleep. When you are sleeping, that is when the best healing happens. It's not just healing to your body, it's healing to your mind. And if you're spiritual, your soul. A lot of people have morning routines, but most people don't have nighttime routines. Most people just get into bed when they're tired and they just like, yeah, that's it, going to sleep. Sometimes you're even on your phone before you go to sleep. You're killing the whole process. You know, your sleep should be treasured and valued. I know it sounds a bit romantic, but I'm serious. That is how you should think about going to sleep. You're going to charge your spirit, but your body is also in a position where it can start healing. Now, let me tell you what happens when you don't get enough sleep. You all know the next day you're going to have brain fog. You get very tired as well, like this unexplainable amount of fatigue. You get really sensitive when it comes to pain. Your pain sensitivity goes up as well. And your body just isn't flexible and mobile and as sharp as you want to be. Like you're so slow answering questions. You're slow in processing. Everything is just all over the place. You know, there's a reason why we sleep. It's the one thing you and I know we can't do without, as well as food and water and everything else. My pro tip is that you need to start a night routine. Even if you don't have a nighttime routine, just make it up. Whatever you want to do before you go to bed to get yourself ready to empty your mind and go to bed, whether it's listening to music, whether it's lighting a candle, meditation, journaling, whatever it is you want to do, have some sort of a nighttime routine and then aim for 7 to 9 hours of good sleep. This point cannot be overlooked. You might do all the other things correctly, but not getting enough sleep is not helping you from a healing perspective. You're likely to be in even more pain just because of this. Bad habit number 5 is ignoring early warning signs. People come to you to have their pain looked at, and then they say, oh, I don't really know how this got bad. It just suddenly came on. And you start asking questions, and it turns out they've actually had this pain brewing for the last 6 months. They're like, oh, yeah, I remember that time when I was doing some sort of hiking or whatever it was, and I twisted my ankle, and it was swollen, and then it just got better, and I just kind of like left it. And I'm like, are you surprised that you now have hip pain on the other side when you didn't treat that ankle for 6 months without realizing that you've been compensating and putting more pressure on the other side? Your hip pain or whatever pain that you've come with may have only started like 2 weeks ago, but no, it's been brewing this entire time. Do not ignore your early warning signs. So the pro tip is, if it lasts for more than a few days, go and see somebody. If you've seen my non-specific lower back pain video, I actually shared some stats, and I'm going to link that video somewhere here. A lot of the pain that we see in primary care, 90 to 95% of the cases are just non-specific, meaning nothing serious, but if left, pain has a way of just multi-layering itself. It's not just the physical pain, it's the anxiety that comes with the pain, the depression that comes with the pain, isolation that comes with the pain, because suddenly you can't walk or you can't stand for too long, you can't see your friends, and it just leads to a lot of things, and eventually it can lead to disability, and it starts with something that's not even that serious. So by addressing it early on, by seeing somebody who can give you the whys and give you a treatment plan, it just nips everything nipping in the bud. I also want to say here that, especially as a woman and as a woman of color, I know what it's like when a lot of people just feel so dismissed by healthcare professionals. I know that sometimes people don't go and see professionals because they genuinely just feel like they don't listen to them. There are certain people that are overlooked. Even elderly people are overlooked. You go in and they say, oh, because you're old, your arthritis. And it's like, it may not be your arthritis though. Obese people are overlooked. You go in and the doctor says, you need to lose weight. That's why you have this pain. And it's like, but it may not be that. It may be something else. A lot of people, because of that, actually just don't go and see anyone because they're just given meds and that's it. I understand. That's why it's so important to choose your healthcare professional very carefully. One of the good things about seeing us is that we can literally diagnose the problem. We have more time with you. At the London Physio, we don't even have time limits. If you come in and you want to see us for 2 problems or you want to see us for 90 minutes for 1 problem, we will make time for you. We're not one in, one out. I am so proud of the way that we deal with patients, the amount of time we spend with patients, the amount of attention we give to you. We even have a support system throughout the week where in between sessions you have access to your physiotherapist. I want to say 24/7, but within reason, but you have access to your physiotherapist on a daily basis, which means that even before you see your physio the next time, you can ask questions. There's some things that you may not remember in the session, but you remember during the week and you just want to ask, is this okay? Can I do this? Or maybe your exercises need changing or whatever it is. We have a whole system for that. Literally because we understand how big of a problem it is that most people are just overlooked. So choose your healthcare professional wisely. As you know, we are at allthews.thelondonphysio.co.uk. If you want to tap into us, you want to ask us any questions, you can book even a 15-minute discovery call. You can book that online. Please do not be one of those people that engage in these unnecessary habits that could actually cost you a lot. They could lead to pain. Pain could lead to isolation, could lead to disability, could lead to anxiety and depression, and a whole lot of other things that do not need to happen. If you've enjoyed this video, you might like some of the other videos on the screen right now, so make sure you click on them and watch. And if you have any success stories that you want to share or just any other tips that you want to add to this, then please leave them in the comments below. That's it from me. Until next time, look after yourselves and each other. Bye.